find a hotkey for my mouse or something. That's a genius idea. Hello everybody and welcome to this channel. Either this is going up the Gettin arcade or it's not. Going up on the new channel. This is going to be an experimental video, so it'll probably be the Gettin now. So I made a video a while ago. I'm back for the summer finally. Made a video a while ago about the kinds of projects that I wanted to work on. I'm home a little earlier than I expected to be for the summer, so I want to work on a bunch of stuff. And one of those things is a website. And I want to make my own, but I don't want to make a video for that. So essentially, I've drawn some things. The idea here is to make for people to upload images and blurbs about somebody, but it kind of costs to do that, and I figured it might be a fun project to try and figure out. No promises here. This is just part one. But essentially, I've got my my blurb here, my layout. So you have a submit button. This is an empty box that I might be able to fill with something. You've got some images here. I want to have more like 4 or 5 images across, but obviously the picture isn't big enough. Essentially, it's like imagine Google Photos page. And then here is the form layout. And then I have a quick pseudo here. Now, really quickly switching over here, I'm installing WAMP server and stuff, so I'm going to get this sorted out, and then I'll cut back to this. I don't know how I'm going to film this yet. This is going to be my first go at it, so... Okay, so the timing is going to be weird. You'll see the timer on my monitor. I'm doing a lot of other stuff at the same time, so I didn't get very far. Pretty much, if I just switch to the full monitor here, this is what I've got. I installed the WAMP server and everything. So essentially what you're seeing here... Do I have PHP on here? Using password, yeah, there's no passwords there. Yeah, cool. So essentially, I'd have the ID of the image. Pretty straightforward. The first last name thing, obviously, just a test. I want to see if I can get image uploading to work. Hopefully that'll like do a thing. My hair's a little on the fritz here. And then the last would be where the blurb goes. Essentially, what I'm doing is this was a test to make sure the CSS actually applies within the PHP here. So you've got the basic stuff, and then you've got your body tags. Now here is something I found on Stack Overflow, of course. So pretty much what I've got, I'll zoom in this in editing. It's starting this is a variable. So here I'm defining the div template, and then right here I'm essentially printing that. So if we go to the web page, that's what you've got. And then if I were to remove the echo statement, save it. Just brings it back. So essentially the idea here would be up here would be, so essentially what's gonna happen is this will be here. I could be totally wrong. This could be totally not how PHP works. For essentially it would be like for each entry in the database, print or kind of create a new div tag and fill it with an image and the blurb text. Oh, no, text. So that's essentially the main idea. The tough part is going to be creating the image uploader itself, which many people have done, so I don't doubt my capabilities. So that's where I'm at right now. Next step is, I think I'm just going to make the staticness of it, so just the quick header. I'll put like 4 images static across, so we'll see. So pretty much I've basically styled up what I wanted to do. I'll show you the page first, actually. So this is what I want it to look like. Well, obviously not in the end, but this is the array of memory. So essentially you're uploading an image and a blurb. So here's the title bar, memory upload, whatever. Buttons, I'm going to change this button on the right. But anyway, moving on. So then you go down here. So essentially the document's going through. And you're going through, okay, you got the nav bar, okay, these are the 2 buttons. I'll get to this in just a second. Okay, sweet. Oh, include memories.php. And then that is this document here. So, really quickly, include is essentially a reference to this page. I kind of just went over this, but like it's going through, it loads this entire page, it hits include. Oh, we're going to go ahead and go to this page. Imagine if I copied all of this and pasted it here. That's how it would work. But just in case I want to move this at any point, or especially for websites when they use like navigation bars or footers, if you just use an include statement, you don't have to edit the navigation bar in every single spot. You just edit it in one document. So how I'm using it is kind of impractical, but I just want to look at this on its own. So essentially I have this here, and this is the div template. So this is where your image is going to go, and this is where the blurb goes. So for example, post an image of your stuffed animal and say 3 years ago I got this stuffed animal. So the idea would be that this template can then be duplicated multiple times. So if I say image path and blurb are set to null essentially. So now it's looping through. Now this is just a basic loop to make sure that my thing works. So look, 8. If I change this to, I don't know, 16, I love the number 4 by the way, then you have 16. Now essentially I'd want like 3 or 4 across, so I'll work on the styling later, but it's not important at the moment. Okay, so really quickly, this is essentially what the SQL table will look like, hopefully. Now this is just a visual. So essentially, you've got image paths and blurbs. Now I will pull from image paths, so this is theoretically wrong, but let's just say 2 is 1, 3 is 2, etc. So it loops through. So this is too long, right? So the array would be 2. And so it goes element 1, okay, this is the image path, right? And then it will set that image path, so I've just commented this out, to whatever that image path is, and then blurb to whatever that blurb is. And then, so when it goes to the div template, just for those who don't know, the question mark, whatnot is shorthand for, it's not even shorthand, you don't have to write the PHP part, it's really that simple. Essentially, I'll reset these every single time that this loop runs. Submit a photo, it'll bring you to this, connected successfully, do you see that? So, if I go into submission form of PHP, essentially, I don't really care. This is not my password for anything, so you can do what you want. This is just connecting to the local MySQL database that I've got. This is making the connection, and then this is checking if the connection is okay. So just for the statement here, connected successfully. Awesome. I just need to rectify my stupid decision. So I'm going to replace the variables here. So I think for sake of simplicity, I will probably make this a here doc at some point, but essentially what I did wrong was quite stupid. I set these two numbers equal to each other when I made the array, which was silly of me. Okay, so I figured I'd just record this last update for tonight. A PHP here doc is super useful. If I have a variable and I were to do like, I don't know, literally any text works, so div template for example, nope, not what I wanted. Essentially what you can do is you can put a multi-line string. So PHP, like see this div template, PHP supports multi-line comments. So if you write it multi-line text, if you write it multi-line, the variable will store as a multi-line comment, which is super cool. It's kind of annoying though when you have it as one whole like block quote, which is kind of annoying in my personal opinion. So there are here docs, and essentially what a here doc does is you have this here, and you can type whatever HTML code you want. So for example, let's take this and paste it here. And it will continue reading that until you write var test semicolon, whatever you wrote here. But Atom doesn't support that, so I might be moving IDE soon. But I don't want to right now. Can't forget those escape quotes. Fix the tag, so if we go into that, boom. I'm proud of myself. Now I get to style them. Hour later, I'm done for tonight. Straight up, because I'm starting to get tired. My pinky hurts from hitting the control key so much. For control R, I need to find a hotkey for my mouse or something. That's a genius idea. Okay, well that was absolute genius. So now if I go change something, let's say, I don't know, something. I just hit the back key of my mouse and it reloads the pic. This image was a random image I found. Obviously I'm using a specific image for this thing I have specifically in mind. Have to work on the padding. Obviously this whole thing needs work. I understand that, but I have generally what I want out of this. So I did realize something, which I'll get to in just a moment, but you still got this. I still need to do the form, and then so what I did was here I put a link. You pretty much just make an A tag. And A name equals memories. Up here goes to the website, the page hashtag memory or pound memories, whatever. Click on that, it goes right to it. So here is kind of the bio. This is a random pig from Cube World. Pig boy, I don't know, wonderful pet, and obviously classic lorem ipsum. Just some job setup, so it's actually readable on this image. I'll make the text more specific once I have the actual image behind it, or I'll just go with like a gradient or a solid color, which probably will be the best option. Cool. So obviously, border won't be there, won't be on these either, but I still need these because I'm working on this part. I'll probably put a drop shadow, but anyway, image goes there, whatever. You've got this basic page. If you have a smaller monitor, it's okay. It resizes. Oh, the image does not resize properly. Oh, that's actually really funny. Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't really think that. The background image resizes with it. Anyway, so pretty much, if I just delete this real quick, you got your I got 16 images here, 4 across. So the idea is you have an image here. It'll say submitted by Mark. Okay, so submitted by Mark, and then look at me in the blurb. Now, the thing I realized was, what if people write different length blurbs? And obviously, if everyone wrote the exact same length of a blurb, but it was all lorem ipsum, if everyone wrote that much text, like, okay, I guess that's not too bad. In a perfect world, I could click on it, click read more, or I could have this set up here, so it'd be 1 memory, 2 memories, 3 memories. However, what I'm thinking is a 2-column layout. So instead of these 2, yeah, so essentially then you'd have 2 memories per thing. Image probably wouldn't be this large, but I'm thinking like a corner up here and then the text flows down. Or I can revert back to what I had originally and click on it, and a module will pop up with it, and then you can exit out of that. Like that tall, even, with a small image on the left here. And then you can just kind of scroll down and look at the images and say, oh, that's a cool image, write that. So I think I'll actually do that way. That's a good idea. But essentially, yeah, that's where I'm at. So these are, again, they're not necessarily fully styled, obviously, but it's where I need to be for the formatting of all this. The next step, though, because this is all formatted and whatnot, I'm gonna go work on kind of, I guess I still have to make the submission form, don't I? So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and work on the submission form, which I'll style tomorrow morning. And then after that, I will work on the image uploading. So PHP takes an image from the browser, hopefully uploads it to the server. The problem that I can foresee right now is me using code to move that from the browser to my directory, which is not what I want, because I want people to remotely upload these images. But anyway, I think this video might be getting long, so I'm going to edit it tonight. But if this is the end, then this is the end of part 1. Maybe I'll have part 2, maybe part 3. Well, I will have a part 2, maybe part 3. This will be experimental. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully this was informational. Let me know if you want to see anything specific. Have a good night, and stay awesome.